perfect peace when I listen to the voice of Spirit in me. When I listen, I see clearly. When I listen, I know. When I listen, I find perfect peace. When I listen to the voice of Spirit in me. Here we go up. When I listen, I see clearly. When I listen, I know. When I listen, I find perfect peace. When I listen to the voice of Spirit in me. One more time up. When I listen, I see clearly. When I listen, I know. When I listen, I find perfect peace. When I listen to the voice of Spirit in me. When I listen to the voice of Spirit in me. When I listen to the voice of Spirit in me. All right, I'd like to introduce our musicians to you this morning. We have our fabulous, wonderful home band. Ed Cosby on guitar, Bill Dixon on bass, David Page on drums. I'm Diane King-Ban over here on the keys. Our song leaders this morning are the fabulous duo Wade and Kimberly Wooldridge. And our soloist is Michael Whitney, and supporting him today will be his wife, Georgine Whitney. So we've got a whole family grouping today. And now it's time to stand up, stretch those legs, and do a little reggae of I Can See Clearly Now. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are those dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue And time to meet and greet your neighbor. And if you work your way back to your seats, we got a little more singing to do. Clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. One more. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
Good morning, beautiful center. I'm Carla Shiradas, your staff minister, and it's Sunday, our favorite day of the week. And you know why? Because we get to learn, grow, and expand through the music, through the message, and through the fellowship with each other. So welcome. We're going to get started this morning with our traditional lighting the candles, the fame of lighting those beautiful candles. The flames of faith. The flames of faith. I'm glad we're all happy with this. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Karen Myers lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. I invite you now to join me in our morning opening affirmative prayer. And as we just rest the body, quiet the mind, and open our heart, recognizing that there is one infinite intelligence. It is an intelligence that is just pure love, pure light. It is peace, it is harmony, it is beauty, it is joy. And it is just infinite intelligence that knows all things, goes beyond all bounds. There are no limitations. It is infinite by its own nature. And what I know for certain is that it made each one of us in this image, in this likeness of itself, meaning that we were born with all of those qualities. And we're here to express them, each in our own individual way. And as we express who we are, we light up this world. We transform the very nature of love, because love is always expanding. It's always moving in an upward spiral towards that one infinite idea of expression, love. It's all love, and it's all right here, and it's all right now. And as we love ourselves, let us be mindful to love our brothers and sisters in the same way. Our neighbor is our brother and our sister. Our neighbor is made of that same infinite intelligence as you are, as I am. We are united. And I give such great thanks knowing this. I give such great thanks for the mindfulness today moving out of this room and bringing these ideas, these qualities, this nature of God that is in us to all that we encounter. Love ourselves as we love our neighbors. Thank you, God. Thank you for this great awareness. Thank you for just your presence of love in my life, in your life, every single moment. And let us anchor this together and say, and so it is. And now it's my pleasure to invite Reverend Judy to come up and give our affirmation.
I'll read her affirmation and we'll repeat it together. I connect myself with all humanity and with my divine good by judging nothing and including everyone. And so it is. Together. I connect myself with all humanity and with my divine good by judging nothing and including everyone. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Reverend Judy. And please welcome Michael and Georgine Whitney. Michael and Georgine and I met many moons ago.
Oh, yes.
Pre-Chelsea time.
I think, yeah.
The dinosaur age must have been.
It was a dinosaur age. Yes. They're only like a month apart.
Yep.
They're exactly
Yeah. And we had a wonderful Christmas concert at one time. And both Diane and Georgine were very pregnant.
8 to 9 months pregnant.
It was great.
Delightful. Yes.
You should have seen. That was a sight to behold. It was a wonderful concert.
We were Santa Claus-ettes.
That's right. Anyway, I have a song I would like you to join with me in on the chorus. You can play the game, you can act out the part, even though it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shout with the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. Shout with the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. What you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Sing with us. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. They say
Shower the people you love with love.
They say some rain must fall. Pouring rain.
People you love with love.
Let it rain.
Show them the way that you feel.
Let it rain. Love, 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 and sunshine. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you.
Michael Whitney with Georgine. Thank you so much. And now please welcome Reverend Heather Dawn Clark.
Good morning. And welcome to the center. Thank you so much, Michael and Georgine. That was delightful. I think that's the first time I've heard you two together. So it was so beautiful, and a song that we know and love. And a perfect song to take us into our talk this morning, our message, which is the art of inclusion. And the art of inclusion, we could just shower the people you love and the ones you don't love with love. And you'd have it. It's right there. It's done. The art of inclusion. So, you know, I love to look at the way the universe supports me and gives me hints and clues. And I had thought, the first thing I thought before I even went to the notes and the ideas that another minister had prepared, I thought, well, that's Edwin Markham's poem. They drew a circle that shut me out. Heretic, rebel, a thing to float. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that drew him in. Well, you know, I've been reading these old Science of Mind magazines. And I don't read ahead. I do the daily guides the same day and that's sometimes I'm disappointed because these are old, 1956, and some of them are missing. But today's was there. And look at what it starts with. Inclusion, not exclusion. And the quote was from Revelation, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. And then at the end is Edwin Markham's poem. He drew a circle that shut me out. Heretic, rebel, a thing to float. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in. So really the art of inclusion is about saying yes to all life, seeing through the eyes of God, the eyes of good, the eyes of possibility at everything in life, at everything in your life, in every person that comes into your experience. Yes. And not only yes, but yes with love, because that's the way to do it. So how many of you know who Greg Bear is? He's a pretty famous New Thought speaker. He's spoken at Asilomar. Those of you who've been to Asilomar, I know you've heard him. Reverend Judy, you've heard him. But anyway, he is a man who, his story, he writes books on real love. His books are all called Real Love something. Either the first one was just Real Love and then Real Love. And no, I don't think we have any in the bookstore. If we do, it's probably one. But we can order them or you can go online to get them. His story is that he was a successful, financially successful father of 7, happily married, and successful in the world of work. He was a surgeon, I think an orthopedic surgeon. And he found himself in his backyard with a gun in his mouth. That was the turning point. That was the moment he realized that he had always placed conditions on love, and that all of the love that he had ever received and given was conditional. And what he vowed from that moment on was to practice unconditional love, to practice being love no matter what, without any strings. Now, what he says in his writings, what he said to us at Asilomar, was that most of us, all of our parents were very well intentioned to raise us as good people, but most of us grew up with some sort of belief that we had to earn love, that it was conditional. Now, if you are blessed enough that you didn't have that, wow, good for you. You have so much to give the people around you, the people in your life, because you weren't in that place. But if you were, then this is a call to take action, because the first one that you need to love is you, without condition. There's nothing to fix. You don't need to do a thing to be good enough to love. You already are. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to put a face on to the world. Just the way you are and just the way you are not, you're lovable, completely 100% lovable. You're already that divine love. What gets in the way? Now I need to go to my PowerPoint because I've gone several slides into the PowerPoint already. So, okay. The art of inclusion. See, I even put it in there. And there's a circle. So this is the reason I'm speaking about this today. This comes from our organizational design model. We communicate openly with each other in an atmosphere of collaboration and inclusion. So that's with all beings. That means definitely with the people in our families, with the people that are closest to us, and especially with ourselves. So it's open communication. Ernest Holmes said this, God is all there is. Why do I keep going back to God? Because it's the basis of everything we believe here. God is all there is. God includes everything. All possibility and all action, for spirit is the indivisible essence and substance of all form. The indivisible essence and substance of all form. Can't be divided. It's in everything as the thing itself, as that unconditioned love, an unconditional love. And there it is, pouring. He also says, meet life with a deeper understanding and sympathy for others with a greater sense of love. A greater sense of love. So starting with yourself, and I thought I had, yeah. Okay, Ernest, I'll come back to that. Oh, I was sure I put something in here. Because several weeks ago, I tried to quote and I messed it up several times. So I wanted to say what gets in the way of unconditional love is not wanting to tell the truth. When we don't, and we do it most of the time, because I think we're all good people. Most of the time we do it with good intentions of not hurting someone. And so when we do that, though, we're withholding the truth within us. And so unconditioned and unconditional love depends on you and me telling the truth with love. Standing so firm in our own confidence of who we are and what we have to offer and how we can care and connect with people, even if they don't like us, even if they don't have the same values that we do, even if they may have done things or we may have done things that they disapprove of. It's about being willing to truly tell the truth with confidence and love. It's so easy to say, and it's really challenging sometimes to do it. Because especially if you're totally loving, you're going to tell the truth with love. You're not going to tell what someone wants to hear, but rather what your truth is. Now, if we're living totally in alignment with the divine, it's going to be the same thing. In our meditation this morning, I played our chant by Melissa Felipe. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. And truly, when we understand God is everywhere, the same God that's within me is who I see when I look in your eyes. But it's also who I see when I look at your actions. So just as the affirmation said, we cannot afford to judge, because when we judge others, well, look at point your finger at someone. Yep, and look up your fingers, they're pointing back at you. So you pointing one finger at someone else, 3 more are pointing back at you. Whenever we judge anyone, we're really judging ourselves. So it's time to let that go. There was a story that I wanted to tell you. It's a story about a shepherd who was out and he was just loved God. He loved God so much, and he was tending his flocks, and his prayers would be very simple. He'd say, God, I love you so much. You can have all my sheep. And then he'd say, God, I love you so much. You can have my blanket. Well, that's the only thing he had. You can have my blanket. And a rabbi was passing, and the rabbi said to this shepherd, he said, how can you go to the creator of all being with such horrible, flimsy prayers? God doesn't need your blanket. God's the creator of all things. God doesn't need your sheep. God created the sheep. So, and then the rabbi went on, gave a lecture about how to put together a proper prayer to really honor and glorify the Lord, which of course he wouldn't have said that, but and left the poor shepherd in confusion. And so he just quit praying altogether. Now I'm going to say the next thing I'm going to say, you're not going to know this isn't a story I believe in, but it's a metaphor. So God heard the silence. He said, what's happening to my sweet little shepherd boy that was praying? So the angel went down, investigated, and discovered that he wasn't praying because he didn't feel that he had the right prayers. So God said to the angel, you tell the shepherd boy that I love him so much he can have my sheep. I love him so much he can have my blanket. I missed his prayers. See, unconditional love, which we would expect that the creator of the universe would be unconditionally loving, doesn't judge anything or anyone, but rather accepts with love all the gifts, all the gifts. Now, Lorna says, the thought of judgment, criticism, and condemnation must in time operate against the one who judges. There's a story of a woman from a congregation similar to ours, whose minister had been talking about inclusion and including everyone. And she was traveling, and she was standing in line, and there was a family that couldn't speak English, the mother and children, and they were confused because there was a certain line. And actually, the last time I came back from another country, the lines are getting more confusing, even to people that have been, because you have to do this thing and you have to do that thing, and you have to sign it. So, and this family just was confused, and they were trying to figure out which line trying to ask questions in their very limited English. And she was annoyed, as were many of the other people who were watching, because they were making it harder for everyone to efficiently go through the line. Then she remembered what her pastor had been saying about inclusivity, inclusion, and that all of us respond to kindness and compassion. And so she motioned to them in her limited Spanish. She brought them in front of her in the line. And she said there was such a wonderful feeling within her of connection, of caring, of love, but the mother and her children were absolutely beside themselves with gratitude. Beside themselves with gratitude for that simple act of inclusion, for that simple act of inclusion. So, don't judge. So, include. See everyone with the eyes of love. Some of you I know read my blog this week, and my blog started with our wonderful experience last week of being in retreat with Dr. Petra. And the way we had started that retreat, very spiritually. She had given us all of these poems, and we just read around the circle. Each person read a poem. And somehow, even though she didn't know where we'd be sitting, the poems were perfect for the person reading them. That's just how life is. And I was sitting beside her, so I read the last poem, and it was perfect for me. It was exactly what I needed to remind myself of. Because here's the thing. When we've been practicing this a long time, and Reverend Judy says this on Wednesday night too, we have lots of tools in our toolbox. We know how to apply the science of mind. We know how to have a healthier, happier, more successful life. We know to meditate and to pray and to visualize. We know to ask for help, to go to a practitioner, and all sorts of ways to bring our good into our life. And so the poem that I got wasn't about any of that. It was about letting go of the need for anything outside ourselves. I'm going to read it to you. I'd like to promise that I won't cry, but every time I've read it so far, some tears come because it's very deep for me, emotionally deep. It's called She Let Go, and it's by someone that knew Ernest Holmes well, named Sapphire Rose. And this is what the poem says. She let go. She let go without a thought or a word. She let go. She let go of fear. She let go of judgment. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons, wholly and completely. Without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her daytimer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause, no congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was what it was. And it is just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. A small smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her. And the sun and the moon shone forevermore. She let go. Sapphire rose. Sapphire spelled with an F. So just breathing into that, breathing into the awareness that that's how simple it is. Right now, you're as loving and lovable as you ever could be. Right now, you have all the answers that you've ever been seeking. Right now is the time to just be the glory of God that you are. Unconditioned and unconditional love. And include all beings in who you are and what you're doing. And so it is. Thank you. And we're going to pray, and I pray in the first person, but let it really be for each one of you. Anything that fits for you, just take it in. Anything that doesn't fit, just let it wash by. Let it go.
Here we are at the perfect time and the perfect place, showing up with an open mind and all this space. Anything can happen here. We all play a part. Here's an invitation to the center of the heart. Take my hand. Here we go. What's the plan? We don't have to know. Take a breath. Make a start. Welcome home to the center of the heart. Let it go, let it go, let it go.
In this holy moment of right now, I deepen my awareness that there is God and absolutely nothing else. I deepen my awareness that this thing itself, this beloved presence, is unconditional love, is infinite creativity, infinite joy, infinite truth. And so the truth for me and the truth for each one of us is that I am a one with that power, one with that presence, one with that love, right here in this very room, in this very moment. I am already good enough. I am already whole, complete, and perfect. So in this moment, I remind myself that that wholeness includes body, mind, and spirit, that physically I am expressing that one power right here, right now, that I am vital and filled with the energy and vitality of life itself. That beauty and grace is mine because it's who I am. It's the truth of the one. So I claim for myself radiant health, radiant well-being. And I know that the truth of myself is that I am unconditional love. I love myself in a greater, more loving way than ever before, more accepting, warts and wonders, just the way I am and just the way that I am not. And this and the intention to do so assists me in seeing all others through the eyes of God, through the eyes of unconditional love, through the eyes of compassion and kindness and inclusion and inclusivity. I know that this love is eternal and infinite. And furthermore, not only am I the love and the wholeness, I'm the prosperity of this one, that thing itself, that is abundance, is the creator, the source of all supply, is in me, as me, and through me, and it is for me. I say yes to God, and God says yes to me. And furthermore, I know that this thing itself is infinitely capable, is knowing so infinitely and intimately the processes of my mind and spirit, that I am the creative expression, that I have gifts to offer, and I offer them in ways that bless and touch and nurture each and every one. I am so grateful. I'm grateful for God's presence. I'm grateful for knowing what I know. I'm grateful for surrender and for letting go. And then with a peaceful heart, I simply place this word in the law of God. It's complete. And please help me anchor it by saying with me, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Reverend Heather. And please welcome back Michael Whitney.
This is a song Diana and I did a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we remember we did an album together.
Yes, we did.
Yes, I thought I'd bring it, but it's on a cassette.
It's really old.
So this is a song called The Gift of Love. Though I may speak with bravest fire and have the key to all inspire, but not have love, my words are vain as sounding brass and hopeless game. Though I may give all I possess, and striving so my love profess, but not be given by love within, the prophet soon turns strangely thin. not begin by love within. The prophet soon turned strangely thin. Come, Spirit, come, our hearts control, our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are free. Amen, amen,
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Michael. Stay. Michael's going to help me out on offertory piece too. So.
The harmonies were glorious. Could the stewards please come forward? It's time for us to give our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. And I didn't ask, but I don't know if you have the vision statement. Do you have the vision statement? Okay, good. We're going to read it together and then we'll pray. Surrounded by a beautiful natural garden, our new spiritual home feels sacred, joyful, welcoming, spacious, and airy, with plenty of room for individual expression and community growth. So please take that home and take it into your individual prayer work and see how that fleshes out for us. Okay, now please repeat after me. Divine love in me.
Divine love in me.
Blesses and consecrates. All that I am. All that I have. All that I give. I give with love. And I love to give. And so it is.
Here's a Kathy Mattea tune that Michael's going to help me out on called You're the Power. Michael for helping me out on that. And now it's time to get those kidlets up here.